It's almost wide open.
After a couple of weeks, we have lost the track. Pretty good morning here, but a shower moved through just as we were coming on the air. A little sprinkle now, and as you can see, they're drying things out. And here's the good news. You can dry this place really quickly, so we hope to get things buttoned up so we can hit the track with practice and qualifying in anticipation of tomorrow's 400-miler here at the Monster Mile. Welcome in, everybody, to the broadcast booth with the Hall of Famer, Dale Earnhardt Jr., our crew chief, Steve Letarte. I'm Adam Alexander. We begin the process of hurry up and wait, but let's talk about this track. So many challenges when you come here, Dale.
Man, it's a lot of fun. You know, the drivers all talked about how tough it is, and it really is. I remember racing here, you know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's rough. There's a lot of expansion joints in the concrete racetrack. And so you kind of bounce across all of those, and as the air pressure goes up in the car, that bouncing gets so aggressive throughout the middle of the race. We took a car home here, Steve, one time, and all of the interior sheet metal was ripped out of the car, shaken loose from its welds. And so it's just a, you know, it speaks to how rough and tough this track can be on the cars, and it is physical for the drivers as well.
Yeah, it's physically tough for the car and the driver. It's a mental battle for the crew chief because that concrete surface, you heard Riley Herbst say that the tire kind of goes down like peanut butter on toast. And what happens is that clean piece of toast, that clean racetrack needs one thing. The coated racetrack, when the rubber goes down, needs a completely different balance. So what is the race going to come down to? A short run, a long run? What is your strength? Restarts are important. There's just so many different ways to lose this race is really the challenge. So on top of the pit boxes, it doesn't get any easier.
We were out there in the pace car earlier today. I appreciate you chauffeuring me around. Take us now into turn one. This is such a wild ride to fall off into the corner.
Yeah, it's so much fun dropping down into turn one there, 24 feet down to the bottom of this racetrack, and you have the same elevation coming back up out of turn two. And it really does kind of take your stomach and shoves you down in the seat when you jump up off of turn two back up onto the back straightaway. So we're riding along in the pace car here, taking some laps, trying to remind ourselves around, you know, how tough this racetrack is. And you can see the big difference, 24 degrees of banking, 24 feet from where you are elevation-wise on the straightaway to where you are at the bottom of the turns. It is a wild ride around the racetrack. To Steve's point, as this track rubbers up, you may go searching for some grip and some clean racetrack. And it makes the day tough trying to find out where your car needs to handle and how to keep working on the car as that handle goes away and changes.
And Dale didn't even mention the narrow straightaways, right? Because he is right. The racetrack's like a roller coaster, but the problem is when someone jumps off the tracks, there's nowhere to go. I mean, these straightaways clog up right away. It almost reminds me of like Daytona, Talladega type of wrecks. You're going so fast, it's so narrow, it cleans to the bottom, but we have seen multiple cars multiple times end their days.
This is a huge race, too. It's the first of 6 until we make it to the playoffs. And tomorrow we've got the race within the race, semifinals of the in-season challenge. The Cinderella story so far, Ty Dillon. He's with Danielle Trotta.
Yeah, Adam, Ty Dillon is here, and he's going up against John Hunter Nemechek. He's breaking everybody's bracket. How have you been able to have so much success in the first 3 rounds?
You know, honestly, our team has ran really solid all year. Our results haven't really shown some of the progress we've made as a company, but we've been running up front, and we've been beating a lot of these teams that are key partner teams that we've knocked out throughout this round. Throughout the year, and just haven't got the finishing results that really get the TV and everybody talking about us enough. But this in-season challenge has been really good for our team, probably the most beneficial team of all, because it shows some of the improvement that we've made through a little bit different, unique view. And I'm proud of what we do. It's going to take another just solid week. Our weeks in between each round of this has been focusing on us, focusing on what we can do. If we know as a team, we're confident that if we execute the things that we know we can do, good pit stops, making no mistakes, we're going to put pressure on whoever we're going up against. We've been able to do that this year, or this whole in-season tournament, and we're going to try to do the same thing to the 42.
You knocked out Denny Hamlin in a Gibbs car on week 1, the #1 seed. Last week, you knocked out a Hendrick Motorsports car at Sonoma and Alex Bowman. Take us through this battle here, Ty, at the end. It got pretty intense.
Yeah, for sure. You know, our strategy was to take points. We didn't even race it in a way that you thought a team like ours would approach it just to be the 48. So we were able to get points, put us in a little bit of a lack of strategy, but he fell back to us. The whole last lap, my whole goal was just try to get to him by turn 10, and if I could move him off the corner in turn 10, it'd give me a shot to run inside into turn 11. I didn't really get the job done in 10, so I knew I had to move him in 11. John Hunter, we don't want to start that too soon, but we're not in the same.
He's trying to get into your headspace, I think. He's trying to play mental games with you already.
Well, I'm not talking about him, and he's worried about me, so we're already in a good spot.
Oh!
So now we're going to have some fun with it this weekend. But, yeah, going into turn 11, I needed to do something. I didn't want to wreck him for 17th, but I knew I wanted to move him out of the way. There's $1 million sitting on the front bumper. So we got the job done. It was a lot of fun, and that's what we do this for. You know, like, you live for those moments. I'm a sports fan, so when the clock's ticking down, can you make the 3? And of course, it wasn't for winning a race, but it was to get to another round to win $1 million. And can you get the job done when it matters? And so that was a fun moment. We celebrated on the radio a little bit, and as you saw, my wife and I had some fun too. And just we're having so much fun. To be a part of college racing this year has meant so much to me. To be a part of a team ran by Matt Collig, Chris Rice, Ty Norris. We have sponsors in Seabest and Grizzly nicotine pouches who have allowed me to be me, and they have been giving me confidence all year that who I am is enough, and that they believe that our team put together, we're going to go ahead and do great things. And we've been able to do that this year, and I feel like the best is still yet to come. I think we're 25% into where we should be. So I believe in the future of our team, and this has just been a small glimpse into what we think is going to happen coming up.
3 straight top 20 finishes and already smack talk with John Hunter. The weekend's off to a good start, Marty.
Yeah, Danielle, meanwhile, while Todd Dillon advanced in the in-season challenge, this guy won everything at Sonoma, so congratulations again. How was the week for you with the team, and what have these weeks been like, Shane, when you go out there and you win these road course races and build as much confidence as this team has built?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, like, especially going into the shop on Mondays and Tuesdays and seeing everyone back there, you know, all the home crew, and seeing what it means to them. And then we did a win lunch, which was for Chicago, and yeah, just epic, really cool week. And then, but Wednesday you're back down to earth, preparing and getting ready for this weekend. So yeah, you switch focus pretty quick.
Yeah, so you and I have talked a little bit about this, and you said that's for you guys to talk about and you guys to decide. But what do you think about all this conversation that you might be the greatest road course racer in NASCAR Cup history? And you're laughing at that whole thought.
Yeah, I don't really care about that stuff. You guys come up with some wild statements, but it's cool. Like, we've just had an amazing run, and you know, to win three road courses in a row, it's epic. It's just so stoked for everyone at Trackhouse, and I think we've won 4 out of the last 7 as a team, so we're really getting better, and it's such a cool atmosphere there to be a part of.
So by the metric, if it rained this qualifying session out, you would start 6th. I think you're probably the only guy in this garage area who would say, hey, I'm going to start 6th. I don't want to do that. Why do you need practice? First ever Cup race at Dover.
Yeah, I've never driven around here. So you'd start right in the middle, up the front. That would not be fun. I'd be in the way. So I want to get some laps, get used to it, and, you know, just build up, you know, and hopefully qualify decent. But yeah, starting 6th with no laps and all the unknowns, that would be pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, we've chatted about this for a couple of weeks. You and I have talked about the oval performance, and you said, listen, we've made improvements. We've gone from a 30th place car to a top 20 car. Where is your confidence on ovals right now, Shane?
It's just growing and growing. Every week we get more confident. We learn more about the car, what we need from it, and just building, you know, and then hopefully that top 20 pace becomes top 15, then top 10. So we just have to keep building, and yeah, it's feeling really good. I feel like I'm racing well and staying out of trouble for the most part, and yeah. just need more laps, more races, and yeah, we're getting better each one.
First time at Dover, but is the key for sort of learning that oval process a second time at an oval for you?
Yeah, well, it was tough here in Xfinity, that's for sure. We struggled as a team, but the concrete tracks are very different, how they rubber up and how the tire reacts, so still learning a lot there, and I didn't have a very good Bristol, so this will probably be a good test for getting confident on a track like that for next time we go to Bristol.
It's been cool to watch the run that SVG has had, but I agree with him, Adam. If he starts 6th tomorrow with 0 practice, I don't know if he's comfortable doing that, and the rest of the field might not be either.
I would say this, though, Marty, to illustrate just how good he was last week. We went in the garage this morning, and everyone's still talking about his accomplishments on the road. The Dominator, he's won 3 of the last 5. It's been fun to watch his growth. We're 45 minutes from the beach, so we brought the beach to you right here.
What's going on, guys? Dale, I just heard you asking about this amazing Shark Week sand structure that's being built behind me. I had to do some recon for you. So he said the weather doesn't affect it that bad. They put a nice little sealant over it, so it kind of helps him out. You can see he has a little bit of water to help get it nice and putty. So that's that. Shark Week is this week. Looking forward to that. But we are here at Dover, Miles Beach. This brand new activation. It looks super cool. Fans are going crazy over here. We just had somebody balancing. I've seen him do it before. He actually can balance anything on his chin, guys. So I've never seen that until recently at other racetracks. They're doing giveaways. We got a stage for music and bands, an awesome Orange Crush bar over here. There's a lot of stuff. So while the fans are here at Dover, they need to come by Miles Beach and have some fun with us.
So we got the Miles the Monster statue, and then there's an enormous duck out there. What can you tell us about that, Mamba?
Yeah, the duck is, it kind of scares me a little bit, guys. I don't really know.
What's more intimidating, the duck or Miles the Monster out there, would you say?
I feel like Miles is kind of like the Hulk. You know what I mean? He's probably on our side. And then the duck just looks like it might be up to mischief. You know what I mean? I know that Clint Boyer is scared of this duck. I know he is worried about the duck.
Well, we made it 15 minutes into this rain, Phil, and we're already off the rails. So we've underachieved, I do believe. All right, so did you get all your questions answered there on the stand, Dale? You feel better about that?
Yeah, I do, actually. I do.
You were quite curious during the break.
You know, I was thinking about SVG and some of the comments that he had about, you know, Bristol and Dover and this, and that, you know, what his expectations might be. And me and Steve have had this conversation this week about how he can continue to progress, because we think he will get better at the ovals. And I wouldn't think that he needs to worry about his performance at Bristol when coming to Dover. They're nowhere near similar. And where he had his best run recently was at Charlotte. He really, you know, he ran top 20, just kind of made a leap forward with how he was showing out at the ovals with the race at the 600. And so I would say that Charlotte is more similar to Dover than Bristol is. As far as driving off into turn 1 at Charlotte, very similar sort of drop down in, landing, sort of lateral load. All those things are really similar. Now, two completely different surfaces, but the load, the feeling, the sensations he'll get as a driver would all be very similar, I think, at Charlotte. So I would come here with a lot of optimism if I was SVG in trying to, trying to progress as an oval driver. And no matter, you know, they might cancel qualifying, but I think we still all believe there's going to be an effort to try to get some practice today. So even if qualifying does get canceled and he does start 6th, he's likely still going to get that hour of practice if everything works out.
Yeah, starting off 6th with no practice,
that'd be tough.
That'll be interesting.
At least he did get the Xfinity time last year, so it's not a completely new operation to him. We heard earlier from Ty Dillon. Let's update the in-season challenge bracket. 2 races to go. The matchups this weekend, Reddick and Gibbs, and we talked about Ty Dillon, John Hunter Nemechek. Danielle's down there with Nemechek. I feel like maybe she just stirred the pot a little bit. Let's create this rivalry,
No,
Danielle.
Never me, Double A. I think John Hunter did that Roman Reigns style from the top rope all by himself, just came over. And you were playing mental mind games, I think, with Ty Dillon, right?
Yeah, we definitely were. It's been a little bit of fun just to kind of trash talk him a little bit this week. We got our kids involved. They're in the same grade at the same school. So we got to keep it friendly. The joke around us is that we're going to be future in-laws, and they're only 4 right now. So who knows what's going to happen. It's been a lot of fun through the whole bracket challenge, and even last week capturing content and things of that sort and talking trash with Eric as well. So I think that this bracket challenge has brought out a lot of personalities and a lot of different guys that you wouldn't see on a weekly basis. And it's been fun to advance through the rounds. I'm glad that we're in the final 4, and now we just got to go break Ty Dillon's glass slipper and end the Cinderella story.
Wow. John Hunter's doing this all by himself. He's got one-liners for Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon's been the one-liner guy. What's it going to take to get it done here at Dover, especially if you don't have practice in qualifying?
Yeah, without practice in qualifying, our day didn't end up very pretty at Sonoma, so we're going to start pretty far back. Strategy is going to be key, so hopefully our crew chief Travis Mack and our engineers can pull something together, put us in a really good spot when it comes to strategy play. But hopefully we have a really good Hertz Toyota Camry XSE. If it drives as good as it looks this weekend, then we should be pretty good. I really like Dover as a racetrack. I've been trying to lean on JJ and Eric a decent amount, as well as Matt Kenseth this week. I mean, JJ is kind of the king of this place when it comes to racing here at Dover. So he had a really good run here going last year in one of our legacy Toyota Camry XSEs. So kind of picked through some of those notes. Had a really good sim session this week. I have a lot of confidence coming into this weekend. I think this whole team and Legacy Motor Club in a whole has definitely kind of gained confidence over the last 4 or 5 months, and it's been really fun to show up to the racetrack every week and see where we stack up on speed and how we can continue to get our cars better through practice, through qualifying in the race. But when we've lined up and raced, it's been pretty well for me, or it's gone pretty well for me, I should say. I don't have a chance to dial the car out and tell Travis wrong information.
When he references JJ, his team owner, Jimmy Johnson, an 11-time winner here at Dover, no one intimidates Miles the Monster except maybe Jimmy Johnson, Marty.
Danielle, tweet of the week after Sonoma belongs to this guy, Chase Briscoe, who said there was one rocket ship at Sonoma and 36 other race cars, and you had the best race car. You said you've never been more proud, Chase Briscoe, to finish second in your entire career. Was that because of the competition you were facing in SVG, or because you kind of took a level up at Sonoma?
A little bit of both, honestly. Sonoma's been by far my worst racetrack, so I put a ton of effort, the prior 2 or 3 weeks into, last weekend, just trying to get better and have a better understanding of what I need to do there. And then, it felt like, SVG definitely had a lot more in the tank, but, relative to the field, I felt like I was probably the second best guy. So, yeah, I was just proud of the effort last week, from a team standpoint, and then even just as myself, I felt like I ran just a good race, and it's hard to do that a lot of the time. So yeah, just it was a good weekend last weekend. Put ourselves in a really good position for today in case something like today happens with the rain, and see if we can do one spot better tomorrow.
I'm curious how you view Dover. Good racetrack in your career. You won here in Xfinity, and the 19 team has been lights out here with Martin Truex Jr. Does that kind of add to the pressure knowing of their track record here at Dover?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that they definitely have been statistically really good here, and the same as Sonoma too. So yeah, I've been pretty excited about this one. The Bass Pro Shops Toyota should be really, really good here. It has been in the past, and like you said, it has been a track that's been pretty good to me too. So yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm kind of torn. Like, I would love to go qualify because I think we could probably maybe get on the pole, but it's also going to be nice if we just start on the front row as well. So yeah, let's see what we got. It's going to be fun. We've not raced here when it's this hot and slick, so it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
I want to ask you, I know you're excited about Dover, but how excited are you for next week? Your home race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard 400, and you said something interesting this week where you said, honestly, I feel like this is the first time I've had a real shot to go there and be one of the favorites.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty excited. Just getting back to go back home first off, and see all my family and friends. My sister's getting married next Friday too, which is going to be really special. So yeah, it's just going to be a great week. But yeah, going back there, I mean, it was nice. I'm glad I was able to run at least one Brickyard 400 in the 14. It meant a lot to me. But I knew it was going to be an uphill battle where, when I go next week, I feel like we have a legitimate shot to win. We're taking our Pocono car. There is some similarities to Pocono and Indianapolis. So I was literally driving home yesterday, and I kind of started thinking about like what it would be like to win the Brickyard 400. I started getting goosebumps. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to next weekend and just seeing if we can put a full day together.
So Mama Smith, I'm not sure how to take this. That's 2 drivers I've now talked to who will start in the top 6 if it does rain out today, and both of them said they want to go practice and qualify. So maybe this rain's going to get out of here and we'll eventually get it in.
Listen, I got a group over here that's waiting for the rain to get done too, Marty. It's dialed action. I got my man Brian over here. Brian, we're in the midway right across from Miles Beach, so fans can get some drinks, have some fun, and then see a show. What do you guys got going on over here?
Today we got the BMX bike shows. We got dirt bikes, moto trials, and mountain bike trials for a grandstand show for the fans. It's going to be awesome. Backflips, 360s, no-handers, you name it, we got it.
So where are you guys based local? You told me New Jersey, so that's not too far from here.
We're based in New Jersey. The company is Dialed Action, based in Jersey, but the guys come from all over the country.
And these guys over here, they're going to be doing tricks on the BMX bikes here.
They'll be on BMX. Yeah, they'll be doing tricks in that big green ramp right there, which hopefully we can put you on there tomorrow and backflip over you. That's our goal.
Hey guys, so my boys up in the booth, they want to know if you can do some tricks out here for. Like, can you do a wheelie or something out here? We got it. We got? Yeah. Okay. All right. Hang on, fellas. We got something coming. Here we go. Here we go. We can't talk about you guys' show and not see a little.
Wait, Mamba. The guy said he was going to do a backflip over you, and you changed the subject right away.
Well, we know we're going to do a backflip tomorrow, right, Brian? Oh, tomorrow.
Unfortunately, with the wet conditions, the ramps are wet, ground's wet. It's not safe to ride, and it becomes very dangerous.
So Steve, I will see this ramp over here, right? That's the one, right, Brian?
Green ramp.
Yeah, the green ramp. They said they'll put me on that and they'll do a backflip over me. We cool with that? What do you guys think?
Yeah, great idea from up here.
Okay, perfect. I'm in.
We're gonna have all 3 of them do it. Actually, all 3 guys flip over you tomorrow on live TV.
There you have it, boys. It's going down at Miles' little beach party out here.
DVRs are being set everywhere for NASCAR Nation tomorrow on TNT. We're on the air 1:30 Eastern time, and we'll see the fate of Mamba Smith as he joins activities pre-race. Look at this, making some progress on the track.
You see how quickly this place does dry since the banking really allows the water to run off the surface pretty quickly, and we got a little weather off to the west of us that could threaten any opportunity to get back on the track, but they're trying quickly to get this thing ready to go.
Scattered showers in the forecast all afternoon. We're hopeful to get it dried out.
activity. I think he's going to have a pretty nice starting spot. 10th tomorrow. You'll take that, huh, Rowdy?
Yeah, we'll take that. I think the metric falls in our favor a little bit. I mean, we qualified on the pole here the last couple of years, but honestly, coming out to Dover with a brand new tire, everything unknown, and not getting any practice and having to just go out there and bust a lap off to try to go for qualifying is not the funnest place to go qualify for a lap, but it'll certainly get your attention really quick. But overall, having that starting spot would certainly be better than others. I've qualified much worse than that here before, so I think all will be fine with the Cheddar's Camaro, and we'll go get them tomorrow.
About 15 minutes from the track, Kyle, is Dover Air Force Base. You had a visit earlier this week.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks to Cheddar's and everybody for allowing us to go over there. We met with many of the men and women of our military over there at the Air Force Base, and we unveiled our new Cheddar's red, white, and blue scheme for this weekend. And there's 67 names that are on the back deck lid of that race car that honor veterans of Cheddar's that work at Cheddar's. And so we appreciate everybody that has been there for all of us to give us our freedoms that we love to be able to go out and do what we do each and every weekend. So thank you. And that's just Cheddar's way of being able to honor that. So I even got my red, white, and blue going today with my first form as well. So, it's a little past 4th of July, but hey, we're still in spirit.
I like it. I like watching you and Brexton as well. SVG was talking a little bit of smack about you and said that are you in the Champions League? You didn't want to race with SVG, and then Brexton's in another league out at Charlotte in Legends cars?
So in Legends cars, if you're over 40, you can run in the Masters class, which I'm a professional. Yes, I race on Sundays. I get it. I should be in the Pro class. Well, the Pro class, you can be anywhere from 12 all the way to wherever. And there's just a bunch of these kids that are pros that get that designation that go out there and they love to just run into everything. And so I raced the Pro class down in Florida earlier this year. I don't think I finished one of those pro races because I got hit every single time I was on the racetrack and got taken out. So I was like, I am not going to go run with the kids and get tore up. I'm going to go run with the old man group, and we're going to respect each other and take care of each other. Ask Shane how many races he's actually finished in the Pro class this year, or how many bumpers or fenders or toe links he's knocked off in the Legends cars. My car's been clean and green, and we've won a few times, so it's been much more fun having my stuff come back after a race in one piece.
It's not only the in-season bracket challenge where smack talk exists, Adam. Kyle Busch has a message for SVG. Bring your stuff home in one piece, dude.
Well, and I would say this, he's had a message for the competition the last couple of weeks. Middle stages at Chicago, Sonoma, things were not going their way. But they rally for a top 10 both times. And as you look at the updated standings here, he's only 37 points below the cut line coming to a track where he's won 3 times.
Well, and you heard it. He sat on the pole here a year ago. So I know it hasn't been as bright of a year as maybe they were looking for in the 18. But I really believe he can have a great Dover. I think a win would be a bit surprising, but not unexpected or uncalled for. We're talking 3 career wins. You saw he leads every category here at the racetrack of active drivers.
Yeah, I still feel like we got a chance to get a winner below the cut line that could throw all this off a little bit. And it would kind of move Bubba to within a few points of the cut line. But Preece and Bubba Wallace is interesting to me. We see the average finishes right there where they're kind of pretty similar. But Preece, those average finishes are in a different program. He has elevated his performance this year racing with RFK. So I kind of have to feel like that, coming into this race weekend, it'll be interesting, I think, to see, driver versus driver between Bubba and Preece, and who can come out of here, making some gains toward making the playoffs. Even though I still feel like that cut line isn't where it's going to be.
I agree.
Right? It's still going to be in a Kyle Busch. That's a great story with what he's been able to do to claw his way back into the conversation. And if anybody could find a way to do something that's never been done before, and that would be to come from behind as far as he is in the points, only to point his way in, it's Kyle Busch that could do it. He's tenacious, never give up, and it's been a very, very tough year, and I think he'd love to have a way to sort of say I told you so by the end of it with a march into the playoffs.
6 races to go. Variety abundant, right? Here at Dover, then we go to Indianapolis, short track at Iowa, road course at Watkins Glen, another short track at Richmond, and then go to Daytona, which, I'm not going to say anyone can win there, but the group of drivers that could be considered potential winners is one of the biggest groups you can have between there and Talladega. So I agree with you. I don't think we're done with new winners. That'll keep bumping that line up.
Look at those last 3 tracks for Kyle Busch. Richmond, he's unbelievable. Watkins Glen, he's been awesome on the road in 2025. And then Daytona. I mean, it's open for anybody, but RCR, Daytona, they've been pretty magical when you talk about that regular season finale. We had a little bit more rain, so we're refueling these vehicles to get the track dry, and we'll keep trying to make some progress here at Dover Motor Speedway. Down to the garage, here's Danielle.
You never know what you're going to talk about in rainfill while you're waiting for this track here at Dover to get dry here with Ross Chastain. Just talking about a little workout. What's the gym schedule like, Ross Chastain, to stay in top peak Cup driver physical condition?
Well, unfortunately, since our cameraman will not tell on himself, I was laughing at his Noble shoes that they claims are for performance, but I think he made a fashion choice when he bought those and put them on. But it's definitely not on race day for me, not on these weekends. I want to feel fresh when I get in the car. So getting in with Corey Shea in our number 9 acceptance Chevy earlier for practice, it was not, I wanted to feel fresh. So definitely not anything yesterday. Yesterday was all about watermelons, about an hour south of here. So yeah, rain's not good, but if it's going to rain, I'd rather it be up here. We don't need any more rain down at the farms about an hour south.
A lot of watermelon farming happening in this neck of the woods, huh?
It's amazing. This peninsula, the Delmarva, and about an hour south of here, down near Laurel and to Salisbury, everywhere from 30 minutes south of here to an hour and a half. It's big ag land. There's just a lot of good dirt up here, and the climate is pretty good. And because we're going to get better days from now into the fall, so the crop will be able to continue to be harvested. So on top of the good weather, you have good dirt with a lot of chicken manure, if I'm being honest. It's something that I never knew growing up in Florida. I never knew you could grow watermelons up here. And then as I got older, I met people, and yeah, it's a lot of good watermelons, good ag in general out here. So you come across the Bay Bridge from like DC, and it's just like a whole nother world out here. And a lot of good families up here grow a lot of good crops.
Hopes to smash one of those watermelons in Victory Lane here tomorrow, guys. This is one of Ross Chastain's best tracks. We'll see what he can do on Sunday, Marty.
Danielle, let's chat with Ryan Preece, who kind of has been living life around the cut line the last few weeks. You're very familiar with that. -3 below the cut line. As you look at these final 6 races of the regular season, Ryan, where do you kind of say, hey, there's a place we can gain some points over the 23 specifically?
I mean, honestly, looking at here this weekend with this Alyssa Thomas designed race car with Castrol is one that I feel like we can capitalize. Between here, Indy, Watkins Glen, Richmond, Daytona, all places that I look forward to going to. And, I feel like we just keep getting more comfortable and better. So definitely excited about it. Wish we were able to get some practice on this new tire, but Goodyear's been doing a great job with it and bringing a great product. So, yeah, excited about it.
With a brand new tire that never got tested, by the way, how much of a curveball is that going to be for race teams if there is no practice?
It'll be a curveball, but we got a lot of smart people in this garage, and I'm sure they'll figure it out. Hopefully, we're one of the ones that figure it out quicker than others. And, yeah, no, I'm excited to be here in Dover, Delaware, close to home, and ready to race.
Speaking of close to home, tell me about the New England 900 that you won last night. I have no idea, A, what this race is, or B, the significance of it, but you in a Crown Vic, that was a pretty good deal.
That's like the adult version of a go-kart, I learned. It was just, Cletus McFarlane and the Freedom Factory and their entire team do such a great job putting on an event that if they come to your town or your city, you need to go check it out. And for them to let me be a part of it at my home track that really made me as a race car driver at Stafford Motor Speedway, it was a huge honor. So thank you to buildsubmarines.com. Thank you to Castrol. Thank you to racechoice.com. Everybody that was helped me be a part of this, and obviously the approval to go do it with RFK. It was such an honor to be a part of that event.
So a lot of drivers will do an away from track race. They'll fly to the track. You drove 5 hours last night after the race to get here?
Yeah, I drove my Ford Escape rental car all five and a half hours last night. Got in about 3:30. But, to me, that's no different than what I did when I was racing at Stafford, Thompson, Riverhead. You'd get done at midnight. You'd sleep for 4 or 5 hours, and then you'd run off to the next racetrack. So I feel like I've been reliving my earlier 20s over the past week.
All right, so I want you to take us behind the scenes here. One of the best things about coming to the 60 hauler, Ryan, as we kind of go in a little bit, we'll let Teddy stand right here. You guys have you can stay right there, Teddy. You have a Slushie machine. I can't go any further, Ryan. You have a Slushie machine in the hauler? When did this happen?
This happened probably about 3 weeks ago. And I know some mix in there later on. I
was going to ask you, so let's come out a little bit because my microphone's breaking up. So the team guys are excited to make margaritas. It's lemonade right now. I want to clarify, lemonade right now.
Yeah, we have a deal that we need to win before we can do that. So when we do win, you can expect us to be in there making margaritas.
So, Steve Letarte, I am very upset at you for all the years that there was no Slushie machine in the 88 and or 24 hauler. You've really let me down because I never thought of a Slushie machine in a hauler, but Ryan Preece and Derek Finley have thought of that idea, and they are the most popular hauler in the garage area.
That is a plus. I'm more of a coffee guy. We stopped by a couple of haulers earlier today to get some coffee, but the Slushie machine is a good move.
I'm going to add it to my list, my lineup.
Yeah.
Maybe morning stop at one of the coffee haulers and an afternoon stop at the margarita hauler. I want to talk about RFK because it's ironic to me that they are an organization that does not have a car locked into the playoffs. When you consider the steps that they've taken this year and how consistent they have been organizationally in the last month, 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of tough to see. It's kind of tough to really know kind of where they are because we've seen more performance out of them. Chris Buescher's obviously had some moments over the past couple years where they've been able to get to victory lane. Not been able to really do that. Hadn't even really been in position to do that this year. So I feel like they would tell us they're just a bit off from where they want to be. But Ryan Preece becoming part of that team, becoming the third car, how that car has really come onto the scene and performed right out of the gate, that's been a great thing to see. And then on the other side of that, Brad Keselowski, a team owner, guy who's really trying to put everything together. He struggled a little bit to be able to get the performance out of his car. That's been a big, mystery, I think, for all of us to try to solve as to why Brad's run the way he's run this year. But there, I think everybody's trying to peak now. Everybody's trying to trend in the right direction to be ready for the playoffs. And Preece and Busch are maybe racing each other for that final spot.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you got two teammates right around that cut line, because things can get very interesting, especially in a couple of weeks' time we go to Watkins Glen, and you know how strategy can play out there.
Well, strategy and Buescher, he was we keep talking SVG. Well, Buescher was the guy that took him down at Watkins Glen. The one thing I will say Preece brought up is that brand new Goodyear tire. When you come to a normal asphalt track, it's just how does the tire handle? I would add what makes that even more complicated here is what does it do to the surface, right? Because if it kind of sticks to the surface, you need one sort of direction. If it doesn't stick as well, it's a different direction. So you heard him. They're definitely going to figure out. He just hopes his team is one that figures it out the quickest.
Yeah, and the practice session here could be stage one tomorrow. That's because right. There's going to be a lot of learning that goes on if we don't get any track time today. And I can tell you my optimism is waning a little bit because you can see what we're dealing with.
such NASCAR legends as Lee Petty, Junior Johnson, and Fireball Roberts.
If he went to a racetrack, he was the man to beat.
You better have your act together, because if you didn't, he's going to beat you.
I thought, man, that's the best short track racer I've ever seen. I mean, he was good.
White gets the checkered flag.
Throughout his career, Rex White embodied consistency, hard work, and determination like no other driver of his era. One day, while working at a Maryland gas station, White
So I got up enough money and went to Lanham Speedway to the race. And the first car that I ever seen go around the racetrack, I told my wife, I said, that's what I'd like to do.
Working on a shoestring budget, White moved to Spartanburg, South Carolina, where he teamed up with Louis Clements, and soon he was on his way.
Rex didn't compete for a powerhouse team. It was his own equipment.
He had built race cars for himself, so he knew what it took to make the car feel the way that he needed for it to feel.
A true independent, White's career was a model of consistency as he dominated the short tracks throughout the Premier Series circuit.
Back then, we didn't have that many super speedways. And Rex, at that time, he was known to be a short track driver.
Nobody could beat him on a half a mile.
He based his career on how consistent he could be.
In order to finish first you got to finish. It don't matter how much you lead it. What they put in the book afterwards is the guy that won the race.
White's best season came in 1960. That year, he dominated the circuit, winning 6 races, scoring 35 top 10s, and running away with the Premier Series title.
Please welcome 2015 NASCAR Hall of Fame inductee, Rex White.
In 2015, White received the sport's ultimate honor when he was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And in 2023, as part of NASCAR's 75th anniversary celebration, White was recognized as one of the sport's 75 greatest drivers. Though his Hall of Fame career only lasted 9 seasons, Rex White won 28 times, captured 36 poles, and finished in the top 10 an amazing 70% of his races.
He was a hard driver. He was a hard charger, but he was as fair as anybody that you'd ever want to race against.
He could do some things that you just wouldn't believe possible, you know. Just a good all-around competitor.
Rex was, I'd say, one of the top drivers of NASCAR of all time.
Hey, where's that big American flag at?
For these race fans, it doesn't get much better than this. And Earnhardt carrying an American flag around the racetrack after winning.
You know, it feels good to be back in a race car, and I'm glad I could be the guy to win the race.
Dale, you and I were down in the garage today just talking about that very moment when you won here back in 2001.
Yeah, man, that was a great race car, and I felt very lucky to have won that race. Everybody remembers coming back after the events of 9/11 and being at the racetrack and all the patriotism and American flags. Everyone in the grandstands had one. Everybody on pit road and all the drivers, everybody was feeling a type of way that I can't explain, and we knew we were never going to come back to Dover like this ever again. And so all the drivers, I feel like, felt that if they were to win this race, that would be a very fortunate thing for them to be the ones to represent the sport that day. So where a lot of races, when you win, you feel relief.
Yeah.
And there's work to get to that point.
Yep.
When we won this race, we felt fortunate and lucky to be carrying the banner for the sport that day.
That was the beauty of sports, right? There's for 3 or 4 hours, everything else kind of got to be put at least in the background, and we got to just come out and compete and do what we do, right? It kind of became, in a very abnormal time, it became a sense of normality that we were traveling around the country again and putting on a race. And the fans, I think, are what made it. You know, that when you started doing those burnouts, it was that moment where you were kind of overcome, even unable to win, right? Just being a part of it. It was this moment that you really remember.
You know, I go to when Kevin Harvick won at Darlington in the first race back after COVID. And that was a special moment for him, and sports was such a unifier at that time as well, but the fans couldn't be there. And so he didn't get to feel the impact of those around him. Watching the celebration that day was phenomenal because, as you said, it was euphoric watching the fans all unite together the first race back after 9/11. Gosh, it's hard to believe. You know, it's been, 24 years ago now, and that it was right here, and you were able to deliver certainly a great moment for you. We continue in the holding pattern here, hoping to get the track dried out, maybe get some track activity. We'll keep you posted there. In the meantime, let's check in once again with Danielle.
Some golf activity, something Steve Letarte, I know, likes to take part in once in a while. This guy, Austin Cindric, driver for Team Penske and Daytona 500 champion, just broke a major milestone, scored under 100 for the first time. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. It's a shame we're talking about my golf career more than my racing career, because that was definitely a highlight of last week with the breaking 100. So it's been a long time to figure that one out. So I guess got a little lucky putting the lap together there.
I was going to say, would you like to offer any advice now that you're so good to Steve Letarte? Anything that you could share, maybe?
No,
secret.
Don't get this twisted. This is a personal milestone. I recognize that this is not a difficult thing to achieve, but it's a milestone. So I refuse to get fitted for clubs, care about what ball I hit or anything up until now. I don't keep track of my handicap. I don't take it too seriously, but now we're going to level up here a little bit. So my metric for success on, I didn't count up the score either. I waited until I got back to the parking lot to count the score. But my metric for success was how many balls I lost throughout the game, and it was only one in 18 holes. So that was the inclination that we were on to something good.
That is impressive. Scored a 98. I'm impressed, Cindric. This season has been impressive for you as well. Already have a win. Let's look back at one of the high moments here that locked you into the playoffs there at Talladega.
Yeah, obviously this is a good day right here. Yeah, just being able to win, and honestly, those Speedway events have been so strong for our team. It's kind of been a long time coming since winning Daytona to be able to come back and win one of these and win with this group. Obviously, see the excitement there and Keystone lights everywhere. So it was really cool and definitely cool to be driving the Auto Trader car at the Auto Trader 400. We got a lot of folks out here that'll be cheering us on. Got my bright suit on and my bright race car, and I wish I would have been able to do any laps in my bright race car today. I don't really like the idea of not having qualifying. I don't know if that's official or not, but it's very wet right now. So
I don't know if we're going to get that P and Q lap in. Jake, could we back up here just a little bit? Cindric is a tall drink of water. What are you, 6'4"?
6'3" and shrinking.
Shrinking. You are not going to miss this guy or his car tomorrow. This Auto Trader suit is it's like the coolest highlighter that you probably have in your drawer. What do you have tomorrow here at Dover? New tire, probably not going to get any time here on the track.
Yeah, well, I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, without any practice laps or qualifying laps, but this is one of those places that I really do enjoy doing practice and qualifying, because it's one of my favorite racetracks to like make a lap at. Like, forget about racing, all the rest of it. Like, tomorrow I'll probably start 26th or something like that and be in traffic all day, where it's like practice, I'm like guaranteed to like enjoy this place for what it is, for a couple laps at a time, get the heart rate going. But whatever it might be, it's one of my favorite places, and be interesting to see how the tire wears, how the rubber goes down, and what it's going to take to move through the field for us.
Has an Xfinity Series win here in 2021, Marty. Let's see who you got here during this rain delay.
Let's chat with Kyle Larson, and who would love to get a practice as well. He and Cliff Daniels and I were just talking about that. Hey, you could cancel qualifying and run practice in that session. How important would a practice be with a brand new tire, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, I think brand new tire or not, practice is always important. You know, teams are always evolving, especially, you know, in over a year's time since we've been here. So, yeah, it'd be nice to get some laps and just get comfortable with the speed of this place, because it's fast. So we'll see. I mean, you can kind of see where the clouds are opening up some, and concrete dries quickly, and it's pretty warm out. So it wouldn't take long to dry it, and it'd be nice to get some laps.
I want to ask you kind of what's been going on the last month and a half with the 5 team. People want to say the 5 team's in a slump, and things just haven't been going well really since the Coke 600 at Charlotte. What would you say about where the 5 team is right now?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't deny that we're in a slump. I mean, I think the results kind of show that. But I think, you know, some of it's been a little bit out of our control, and then some of it's, you know, been great execution with a, you know, car that's been a little bit off on speed too. So yeah, it's been a rough, you know, couple months here, but we're still staying positive through it all, and you know, working really hard every week, and the process doesn't change no matter the good results or bad results. So confident in our 5 team and HinderCars.com, and hopefully we can turn around at Dover. Dover's a great track, you know, for myself and our team, and we would want nothing more than to get back to our old 5 ways of getting good stage points and battling for a win.
I was going to ask you about that. Led some laps last week, but you stacked Dover with Indianapolis next week. Could you kind of pick 2 better tracks for you guys to say, hey, if we're going to right the ship, these are the right 2 tracks to do it?
If you could put Bristol and Homestead back to back.
Why not, right?
Yeah, I would take that. But no, I think Dover, you know, statistically in my career has been a great track. Right. And Indy, you know, yeah, I mean, after winning there last year and all that, I'm really looking forward to going there. But it's also a track that's hard to pass, and you know, strategy can kind of get, you know, misaligned with where your race is going. So you know, less, I would say, confidence going to a place like that, because there's more factors. But yeah, Dover's a great place, and I don't even know what's after Indy. Iowa's good. We went good there last year. So yeah, I think now is a good time for us to kind of turn things around, and a lot of big racing really in all that I do. I get to race a lot over these next handful of weeks, so I think it's a good time to kind of hopefully turn it around.
You talk about how good Dover is for you. I'll look at Bristol as well, a race you've dominated the last 2 times at Bristol. And people want to say Dover's just a big Bristol. Do you find that is the case? Can you bring things from Bristol that you can have work here at Dover?
Not really. I don't feel it's the same. I mean, yeah, sure, it's concrete, but even the way the concrete's laid, you know, is different. I think, you know, here it goes up the banking, at Bristol it kind of wraps around the corner. You're reliant more, even, I mean, you're relying on aero at Bristol too, but even more so here at Dover. So it's easy to get kind of stuck at both places. But I mean, there's bits and pieces, I think, of the style of how you manage a run that can be similar, but it's still a totally different track.
Adam, you got to think, man, if the 5 team is going to turn things around, the next couple weeks look pretty good. Dover and Indianapolis, places they are just terrific.
Yeah, there's no question about it. The schedule sets up for a turnaround, and if you look at his average finish in the last 8 races, it's about 10 positions less than what it was early in the year. It goes back to what Marty was talking about. And the slump, and Kyle admitted, we're not where we want to be. For the 2 of you, what's your evaluation right now of the 5 group?
I'm a little confused as well. You know, sounds like Kyle is willing to hand the blame around. You know, sometimes he's getting run over, but sometimes it's just the 5 car not really has that raw speed. You know, in the beginning half of the year, it didn't go smooth either, but they had firepower to overcome any sort of issue early. So ups and downs, I'm by no means panicking. We've done this long enough in our careers that you're not going to be great all the time, and I don't hear any infighting. They seem to be completely supporting one another, but big asterisks. If we leave Indy in a couple weeks and we don't see race winning speed, it doesn't have to win for me, but race winning speed out of the 5 car at some point in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to really start to ask some questions.
Yeah, I think this race weekend is a really important race for Kyle Larson and his team. I think there were a couple variables that have sent them into this sort of tailspin, if you will. When he went to do the double, the responsibilities, the requirements off track, the preparation, the planning, the travel, all of those things are a monumental taking, right? And so I think he comes out of that, which wasn't a great experience for him this year, and he goes, I don't want to do that ever again. And I believe he realized how easily, if that doesn't go as well and as simple and easy as it could, he understands how that can take away or distract from his main job, right? And that's driving this Cup car. And also, I think the clunkiness of the schedule in the summer. If he had a lot of things out of his control that cost him some good finishes or good results at some races, then he would go to like Nashville and just be okay, And so, the clunkiness of the schedule isn't allowing them to get back into that groove, right? Here's where it starts. Dover, Indy. From here on out, we're going to see the 5 rebuild that momentum.
Yeah.
Larson is when he's off running the dirt stuff and winning, that's building that confidence. He's going to come here with some swagger, right, and a little skip in his step. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see him quickly regain what kind of performance that we expect and that he expects out of himself. So I think the summer stretch and the way the schedule's built now can really work against a team that's trying to kind of gain some momentum and get back to a performance that they're used to. And now that we're kind of free of that and on our way toward the playoffs, I expect them to peak.
I will add that while no team wants a slump, ebb and flows are going to happen. That's just part of sports in general. So not that you're hoping for one, but midsummer is a great time to have one, right? Because I believe there will be this kind of, as Dale pointed, this consistency that will allow them to rebound maybe at just the right time as we head into the playoffs.
And I would say, too, the highs, if you take advantage of them, allow you to overcome the lows. Yeah. And when you look at what they did early in the year, not just one of those 3 races, 8 stage victories, and they're going to get some bonus points, some playoff points for where they finish in the regular season. He's going to have a little bit of an insurance policy once we get to postseason play that allows them to be in a position to get on a run and have a chance at winning another championship. We just got word practice qualifying has been canceled because of the rain and the time it's going to take to get the track where it needs to be. So we will use the metric to start the lineup for tomorrow's event. And now, as they push the cars back to the Cup garage, we start focusing on the CW and the Xfinity race that will come your way later today on the air, 4 o'clock Eastern time on CW with NASCAR Countdown Live. Denny Hamlin going to be in the booth with Jamie McMurray and myself. We look forward to Practice and qualifying washed out on this Saturday afternoon for Cup teams at Dover, so now the focus shifts to 400 miles tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the teams have to be pretty concerned about not being able to get on the racetrack. This is a nightmare scenario for the crew chiefs, engineers. We know how important aero is. Larson mentioned how important aero is at this racetrack, and the teams are basically going to have to guess on where the travel for this car is. A lot of load landing into the banking at Dover, so knowing where your travels are going to be, are you going to land that car and get to the rear diffuser where you want, or are you going to over travel and find yourself in big trouble when this race starts? Not a lot of things to adjust to be able to prepare or amend that throughout the race, Steve. So it's got to be a big concern for the crews.
Yeah, coming here, the test you thought you were given was going to be practice. So you figured out what you could risk, what you could be wrong on. Now that you know the first laps will be the race, you kind of go back through that list. There's a lot of things you're not going to change, but there are 5 or 6 that are going to keep these crew chiefs up at night, and they're going to be the smallest adjustments that mean the most. How low do I dare be? Can I miss on the wrong side of any of these 5? Most will go conservative, someone won't, and if the person who doesn't hits it right away, you get that track position, control of the race. And this is the type of race you can keep control of if it falls the right way.
So qualifying rained out. We used the metric to develop our starting grid. Here's how things will look when we go green tomorrow afternoon. Front row, the Chases, Elliott and Briscoe.
Yeah, a lot of contenders up here in the front of the field with Christopher Bell, but then you have Shane Van Gisbergen. He's concerned. He's admitted it. A little nervous starting in 6th position at the front of the field here, firing off with no practice, no laps in the Xfinity car, the Cup car, the next-gen car here at Dover.
I'm going to have my eyes on Kyle Busch back in row 5. Can he find some sort of heroic run to win and get himself into the playoffs? Storylines galore.
In-season challenge matchup in the top 10.
Yeah.
Reddick and Gibbs both up there in the first 5 rows.
Yeah, they could see each other from there. Denny Hamlin, row 7. Brad right behind him. Another driver really needs to win. Ross so good here back in row 10.
Alex Bowman, row 8, a guy that knows his way to victory lane at Dover.
Bubba Wallace wanting to come out of here with a great result right around the bubble in the playoff order. Then you have Kyle Larson coming from row 13. That'll be fun to watch. And John Hunter Nemechek, also one of the bracket challengers.
Yeah, that spillover, the chaos from Sonoma, that's what got Kyle Larson back there. You look even further back. How about Ryan Blaney in row 16, Carson Hocevar in row 17, and Ricky Stenhouse, one of his best racetracks. It'll be a tall task, but we'll see what the 47 can do starting back in row 17.
The tough thing here is that making up track position is such a challenge because strategy is not always something that's a part of the equation here.